Hey everyone, Rory the Fiend here, and today I'm bringing you a challenge run in Pokemon White 2's challenge mode, aka hard mode. Today's challenge, and maybe you've guessed from the thumbnail, is that I can only use attacks utilizing a Pokemon's weaker attack stat. Such as Darmanitan, it can't use its whopping base 140 attack stat. But hey, Flamethrower Psychic is fair game from its base 30 special attack. No cheesing it with mixed attackers either. I want my Machamp's hurling Elemental Blast and my Alakazam's on the creatine, which I've already done before in Platinum, so check that video out if you enjoy this one. Before we begin, let me clarify the rules. I'll be playing on White 2's challenge mode, with set mode enabled, no overleveling, aka level caps, no items in battle except for held items, and I can't use moves that take advantage of a Pokemon's better offensive stat. Sounds simple? We'll just see about that. We start the game and I name myself Y-Roar or E-Roar, fitting for how backwards our team building will be. Hugh is still Hugh. I really can't stand naming the rival something cringe like subscribe. And we're off. For my starter, I go for Tepig, though they're not sticking around for long. All the unovan starters are far too competent as mixed attackers to be considered fair game for this challenge. No, my true starter, after making my way up through these first few routes, and changing the season from summer to autumn, because of course, seasonal encounters are a thing, and I was playing in the only season you don't find this Pokemon. My starter is Pidove. Pidove is an awkward early game bird. Its stats say physical, yet its level up moves say special, learning Gust, Air Cutter, Air Slash, even Razor Wing. It doesn't even get Wing Attack or Brave Bird. I've heard some people before mention they feel like Unpheasant was meant to be a special attacker, so let's put it to the test. I name it Vayu after the Hindu god of winds. With the Super Luck ability that increases crit rate, that coupled with the high crit move Air Cutter down the line, and eventually the Scope Lens, I'm excited to see what this little critting machine can do. Now with my true starter, I make it to Flossisy Ranch. Flossisy? I don't even know how to say that. I never thought about it. Anyway, Hugh battles us, who doesn't pose much of a threat, as Vayu easily knocks out Oshawott with a few gusts. Afterwards, I clear out the area, fight the trainers, bully some kids older picked out for me, and return to Espertia for the first gym battle. Sharon, the normal type leader. I have a few strategies in mind in case we lose, but for now, let's just try and brute force it with Vayu. Maybe I don't need to use my brain just yet. There's not much strategy here. I'm gonna gust spam until we die, and a few workouts from Patrat is preferred over raw damage, but eventually it does land a tackle. Not too scary though, and we take it out on the following turn. Then Lillipup the Ace switches in. It outspeeds, oh dear. Vayu's gusts maybe deal a 6? Yeah, this won't work, and Lillipup quickly takes us out. So that's attempt 1. We got somewhere, but I'll actually need to use my 2 brain cells. First off, we need more team members. I looked through all the encounter tables and noted down possible strategies. For example, what about Purloin with underhanded sand attack spam? Or Sunkern with Grass Whistle to bag us free turns? Maybe Bulky Dunsparce with Spike could whittle down the PP? Those are all options, I guess, but in the end I caught an Azurill. At level 10, learning Charm, it can outpace any workup attack boosts and keep Sharon's Mons in check. I also caught a Psyduck at level 11. It learns Disable, and this'll almost exclusively be for Sharon's Pidove, which only has 1 damaging attack. If that gets disabled, it'll be a sitting pigeon. Lastly, I caught a Mareep, mainly to Thunderwave things and maintain the speed advantage. With this strategy in hand, we're ready to show Sharon who's boss. The battle begins all the same, a back and forth between Vayu and Patrat. We managed to deplete Sharon's potion, but an untimely tackle crit nearly knocks out our only win con. Thankfully, we have access to a few Oran berries. Held items are allowed in this run, which brings Vayu's health out of the one-shot range. Unfortunately, no Gust crit, and Tackle? Vayu just survives, and knocks out Patrat next turn. This is far from ideal, but let's push on. Sharon's the Lillipup switches in. I switch to Lillipup as fodder, sorry, to safely switch into Bramble the Mareep. Thunderwave, then in comes Lillipup 2. It's risky, but if we can get a few Leers to soften it up, this should make our lives 10 times easier. Lily Leers twice before a double workup, Tackle takes it down. Blues the Azurill comes in next. It's technically a mixed attacker, so can't use damaging moves, but all we need it for is Charm. In fact, Blues lives just long enough to charm it all the way down to -6 attack. And with -2 defense, Daffodil the Psyduck comes in. Thankfully, since it has lower attack than special attack, Scratch is illegal, and after an additional Tail Whip, starts its Scratch Assault. After just a few more turns, Sharon's Ace goes down, and Vayu grows to 15, where it learns the awesome Air Cutter, stronger than Gust and with an increased crit ratio. In fact, each time we use it, the crit chance is 25%. Anyway, Pidove last. The plan is simple. T-Wave, spam Growl, find our chance with Daffodil, and as soon as it quick attacks, Disable! GG. Well, not quite, but we should have this. Eventually Vayu switches in and goes for the knockout. Jim 1 down. Cheeky strats, but that's just how it goes with this challenge early on. For now, we can move on, making it to Verbank City, whose gym leader is Roxy, a poison type user. With that in mind, I know just the Pokemon I should add to the team. The Verbank complex hosts several strong Pokemon, Elekid, Growlithe, Coughing, but the mon I'm interested in is Magnemite. Clearly a special attacker, but learns a few half-decent physical stab moves early enough in Magnet Bomb and Spark. Its steel typing will be incredibly useful, especially as it's immune to poison types. And lastly, the ability Sturdy, further complementing its tanky role, will be instrumental down the line, I'm sure. I scout around until I get a decent one. For now, forgetting to nickname Like a Fool, and after a short grinding sesh, it's time to face Roxy. I'm feeling pretty good about our chances of a first try victory this time, but let's see. Roxy leads Coughing, and with Vayu's Air Cutter, I expect it to deal good damage. Oh, I expected a bit more than that, and Venoshock almost 2-shots us, oh dear. Okay, and that's a Venoshock crit. I may have underestimated Roxy. Magnemite switches in and can't do much. I should have trained until it learned Magnet Bomb at least. And there's a Super Potion. I'll spare you the play-by-play, but we do actually win the 1v1. Shame Roxy has 2 more Pokemon. Grimer next, and it knows Mud Slap. Yep, we're screwed. Lost 1. The good news, however, at least we have room to grow. Our level cap is 19. Let's grind up, learn some moves, gain some stats, and give this another go. After culling the local Ordino population, we return. My team of 2 Magnemites and a Pidove. A classic black and white 2 team comp, am I right? I lead with a weaker Magnemite. The plan is to paralyze, then confuse Coughing, before switching into Vayu to Air Cutter it down. Which works perfectly. We get a few lucky confusion hits, exhaust Roxy's Super Potion, and then land a massive Air Cutter crit for the knockout. Grimer comes in next, and the plan is devious. First of all, send in Fodder Magnemite to paralyze. And now back into Vayu, immune to the Mud Slap. Now back into Magnemite, immune to the Poison Gas. You can see where this is going. Mud Slap is 10 PP. Once that's gone, Grimer can't harm Magnemite. I count the Mud Slaps and it takes about 5 minutes, but eventually she runs out. Now's your chance, Magnemite. This isn't pretty, but it is safe. Slowly and surely, Magnemite whittles down Grimer until finally, knockout. Last comes Whirlipede. Rollout could become a problem. Thankfully though, Magnemite chips it down enough for Vayu to switch in. Air Cutter crits and gets the knockout. Jim 2 down. Not too bad after leveling up appropriately. Having to PP stall was interesting. In fact, I don't think I've ever done that before against the AI, but needs must. Afterwards, we take a boat to the mainland to reach Castelia City, and now things really open up to us. First things first, go to the name rater, nickname our main Magnemite to Magnemite. Then I obtain the scope lens for Vayu, 25% crit chance for every move, and 33% crit chance for Air Cutter. You would not believe how excited I was when I realised just how early on you can get this full crit build up and running. Or maybe you would, it's no secret I'm a bit of a weirdo. While exploring Castelia, Vayu evolves, and considering Berg's up next, I am looking forward to this. First though, I head north to Route 4. There's 2 Pokemon I plan to add to the team. First, I catch Darumaka, with its whopping base 15 special attack stat, and weaker than Ember Incinerate. This will be by far our worst addition for a while, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Then I catch a Sandile. It took a bit longer since they can either have the ability Intimidate or Moxie. One is amazing and the other is useless on a special attacker. Took a while, but I eventually found the one with Moxie. I don't need some OP Intimidate ability to carry me. Give me Moxie, let me suffer. The team's doubled in size now and gleaned as much XP as reasonable from the surrounding areas. Let's take on Berg's gym. And you know what? I've got to test this. How much will Darumaka's Incinerate do to a bug and grass type? Will it 2-shot? No. I mean, it did something at least, but this thing is gonna suck for a while. Should still be of some use in this bug gym at least. Clearing out the rest of his gym was easy enough. Let's see if we can get a first try victory this time. Annoyingly, he leads with his part rock type Dwebble. While Daru isn't ideal, a quick Incinerate to burn up the citrus berry could prove valuable. It rock polishes, and I immediately switch into Magnemite. It doesn't go down without fight, but thankfully with super effective Magnet Bomb, we pull out on top, albeit just barely. Carablast next. Seawaddle Fodder switches in to let Vayu enter safely. Now evolved, show us what you can do. Carablast still outspeeds, okay, and Headbutt, no flinch. Perfect, that's enough to 2-shot. Repeating this for one more turn, and Carablast goes down. But here comes Leavanny. Truthfully, I'm still very nervous for this Pokemon. Its stats are no joke. Vayu detects to Scout, and Aerial Ace? I'm pretty sure Vayu can tank one. Oh, Grass Whistle. Okay, rip me, I guess. We don't wake up in time and Vayu is knocked out. Now my only hope is flippin' Incinerate Darumaka. Thanks to Attract, we do get a few free turns, and Incinerate is looking like a 4-shot. But unfortunately, as Leavanny is brought to the red, it breaks through and knocks out Daru. Yeah, that's GG at this point. Leavanny is a menace, but I know the real reason we lost. Lack of nicknames. Paying the name rater visit, I spent ages trying to think of something that would work. And I mean, Zenless for Darumaka kinda works. With special attack without the Zen mode? I don't know. And for Sandile, I've just gone with Sandy. Their nickname will change when they evolve though. Let's see how this impacts the Berg matchup. Dwebble vs Magnemite, but this time, Magnemite has the leftovers. Yeah, I know, leftovers is found in Castelia City. My goodness, this city is amazing. This turns the matchup decisively in our favour, knocking out Dwebble with almost full health remaining. Carablast next, and stuff it. Let's 1v1 this fool as well. It's close, even burning through Berg's Hyper Potion, but Magnemite scores the knockout. Now it's Leavanny's turn. Sandy, you're not doing much anyway this battle, so sorry about this. Zenless switches in next, and same strat as last time, but somehow RNG blesses us, knocking them out while still on full HP. Now all that's left is Shelmet, and I mean, come on. Vayu switches in, Air Cutters, then Gusts for the knockout. Berg down. Not a first try win, but I wasn't sweating it too much here. Probably the easiest gym battle so far, which makes sense with how well we matched up. Continuing north, we lay the beat down on Colrez, fully map the desert resort, and spend a brief moment in Join Avenue. I freaking love Join Avenue, fellas. Who's with me? And we make it to Nimbasa City. I see the sights, the fights, eventually making it towards Route 5 for a team member 5. Solosis. Thanks to Black and White 2's move tutors, they have good options for physical attacks, at least when they evolve. And with its ability Magic Guard, there's a perfect item I have in mind for them. I search around until stumbling upon one that's close enough to top percentage. Before taking on Alessa, I'm really predicting a struggle, so let's do this properly. Grinding until Magnemite hits level 30 and evolves into Magneton. I really appreciate the stat boosts here. Sandy evolves soon after, and going back to the name rater, I rename her to Krokorokos. I was really struggling for a naming scheme this time around. Okos meaning smart or wise in Hungarian. And after all that effort, I already know someone in the comments will say something obvious that I'll have missed and make me look like a damn fool. Well, at least nicknaming Solosis is easy. Swolosis. Perfect. My next plan, the Battle Subway. I've got my eyes on the Life Orb for 24 points, and thankfully there's an easy enough way to gain points. Simply go to the multi-train, decline communications, you'll then team up with Rosa, who you can tell to focus on offense, reset a few times so you don't get a stinking clutch Golurk, and ideally you'll get the Moxie Earthquake Crocodile, and let her do the heavy lifting. This took around an hour and a half with speed up, but eventually the Life Orb was mine, turning Swolosis from pathetic to weakling. It's better than nothing. We're not quite at the level cap, but this team has received significant boons. Let's fight Alessa and see how we fare. She leads Emolga to our Swolosis. The plan is to 1v1 with Life Orb boosted Rock Tombs. However, it turn 1 Volt Switches, dealing exactly half, and in comes Joltik. Still a good target, except of course Rock Tomb misses. Fine, Magnemite's turn. Returned as well, even getting through her Hyper Potion, but Alessa does Alessa things as she Volt Switches again. Zeb Striker takes Joltik's place. This thing scares me, with its flame charging and stomp flinching. Step 1, switch to Sewaddle to sack. Step 2, Zenless? Let's incinerate that berry. And that's Volt Switch, right. In comes Flaffy, and look at that damage. Okay, Magnemite, you're up again. But of course soon after, another Volt Switch. In comes Zeb Striker. I switched to Zenless in the vain hope it can do something, but expectedly Zeb Striker outspeeds. Volt switches for the KO, and in comes Flaffy again. So Magnemite again switches in, takes Flaffy to the red, but goes down to Volt Switch. Okay, Orcos vs Zeb Striker. We have Snarl, we have Mudslap. Stuff it, just go Swagger. But of course, it breaks through and stomps Orcos. Swolosis next, but they're soon knocked out as well. Attempt 1 is done. That was rough. But again, there's hope. For this fight, I'll probably need to reach the level cap of 32. As first, Swolosis evolves, and soon after, Vayu learns Air Slash and becomes an Unpheasant. Sure, it's still weak to Alessa, but now being fully evolved Mon with a decent stab, it's far from useless. Oh, and I picked up the Eviolite, S tier item that I feel will be perfect for Magnemite. Aside from Flame Charge, it matches up pretty nicely against her. So let's not be too pessimistic. Attempt 2 might go a lot better. Same Emolga lead, but against an evolved Swolosis. Turn 1 Volt Switch again, that's fine. Joltik switches in and Rock Tomb lands, let's go. Dealing around half. Again, I think Magnemite's the play. We paralyze each other and Jolt's Volts out of there. Zenless switches in and I'm just hoping it can burn the berry this time. Pursuit, perfect. And there's Incinerate. That's something. At this point, screw it. Zenless is leftovers and Zebstrika is using weak attacks. Let's work up once and maybe deal some decent damage. And Uproar, I mean, our special attack stat is probably like 25, so I'll take this. And there's Volt Switch. We live. Flaffy switches in. Uproar. Crits! Wait, that's respectable damage. One more Uproar takes Flaffy to the yellow before Volt Switch knocks Zenless out. That's so much more mileage from Zenless compared to attempt 1. Zebstrika back in and I guess Swallosis? Never mind, immediate Volt Switch into Joltik. Return takes it to half, and it's likely to use Ecstasy here, so F it. Time for Vayu to put in some work. And Air Slash for the knockout? I forgot your special attack is still pretty bad. And Thunder Wave, amazing. At least it's KO'd next turn. In comes Flaffy, and sorry Swaddle, it's your time. Now Emolga's in, so I send in Okos. We have a back and forth, but it's clear Emolga's knocking us out first. But on Okos' dying breath, she embargoes. First time anyone has ever used that move unironically. This will prevent their Citrus Berry from activating. Let a Magnemite switch in, spam return and nab the KO. Now Zebstrika's back in, and with a low health Swallosis and a paralyzed Vayu, it's still looking dicey. Maybe the AI doesn't flame charge? Pursuit? Return does good damage. Pursuit again? Return puts it into the red. Stomp? No flinch? Return? Let's go! Only Flaffy left. It's GG, noob. And one more return seals the deal. Alessa defeated. 4 badges obtained. Thankfully, I'm predicting the next few gyms will be a bit smoother, and soon the team's movesets will properly take shape, as that's the biggest weak point we're dealing with right now. I mean, Incinerate Darumaka, no stab on Swallosis, we need help. For a brief moment, we can chill. Beat up Heartbreaker Charles, make it to Driftville, and I clear out the trainers on Route 6. And then, Zenless evolves, going from base 15 special attack to a whopping 30. The same as such beasts like Combi or C-Dot. And with that sheer force ability, just you wait. Now it's time for Gym 5 against Clay the Ground Goblin. He sends Krokorok to our Vayu. A classic air slash miss, but we still score the knockout fairly quickly without taking too much damage. Next in Onix. Can you believe this is Clay's bonus Pokemon in challenge mode? What a fool! Except it does have Explosion, but thanks to the Gen 5 Explosion nerf, and the fact that it's Onix. Look at that, not even down to half. It's just embarrassing. Sandslash third, and there's Home Claws. Okay, Sandslash, you could be an issue. Air Slash again, and miss again. 95% by the way. And Rock Slide easily knocks out Vayu. Maybe Swallosis can charm it down and pacify it? They charm once, but a Crush Claw defense drop means they get 2-shot. Okay, go Magnemite. I mean, I wasn't expecting much to be honest, but there. Tiny Chip. Zenless next. Can we RNG this with Attract? No. Of course, please RNG it with Swagger. Never mind, that's a loss. The GG Clay. GG, you got me. RNG wasn't on our side this time. Let's level up a bit more. Let's return, and let's give it another go. Krokorok versus Vayu, who of course starts off with another air slash miss, but to be fair, does strike him down with a crit air slash to make up for that. Onix this time doesn't muck about. Rock Polish into Rock Slide spam. With a lucky crit, Vayu doesn't 1v1 it this time. Following up with a very tactical Seawaddle sack to let Magnemite switch in, somehow putting up a decent fight, almost 1v1ing a bulldozing Onix, but ultimately faints as well. Of course in next, dodging a Rock Slide with Mud Slap. Maybe we can dodge and cleanly KO it. Not quite, and Onix is in the red now, using Explosion. Oh god, I forgot about that. Oh, and Explosion missed. That's always such a funny sight to me. Sandslash next, and this time Swallosis charms it down to -6. It's close, but Swallosis does manage to win the 1v1. Lastly, his dreaded Excadrill switches in, and immediately knocks Swallosis out. Okay, well, plan's simple. Okos spam Mud Slap, and we pray. We get lucky. 3 Mud Slaps with 1 critting before Excadrill takes Okos out. Right, Zenless, this is your moment. Incinerate, Citrus Berry Burn, Bulldoze, Missed, Attract, Immobilized, Incinerate, Bulldoze missed, Incinerate, Immobilized, Incinerate. This has got to be the stupidest way anybody's ever beaten Clay, but I'll take it. I was in VC with a friend and I was muted for reasons, but I made sure to let him know the hype I was feeling after winning in such a stupid way. 5 badges down, still yet to win on our first try, but I'm feeling good about this run. To celebrate, I thought of an appropriate nickname update for Magnemite. This isn't Magneton, but Magnebrawn. Before continuing north, Team Plasma rears their ugly mugs on their little paddle boat. With Hugh and Sharon's help, we quickly dispatch of them. Not before, what was his name again? Insulin says they will use the legendary dragon-type Pokemon to rule over the Unova region. We're scared, mate. We're quivering. For now, though, they hightail it out of here. At this point, we can now surf. It's always such a treat when you can surf in previously inaccessible areas and collect all the goodies. But more importantly, it'll let us find our final team member. How could I pass up on such a tempting special attacker? I'm talking Axu. Dragons are notorious for having solid special coverage. And well, the Axu line isn't anything special in that regard, but they'll do. They either have the ability Mold Breaker or Rivalry. Now any sane player would make sure to go for the former. However, I am not normal. Eventually I find a half-decent Axu with Rivalry, that's female. I'm thinking for the future here, as long as we pick and choose our battles, we get a mini attack boost. Let's see if we can make it work. And I have the perfect nickname for the Axu line. Because they're so brainy using their special attacks over their brawn, their name will be Actually. Freaking nerd. And you know what? Actually needs moves. So it's back to the battle subway to grind out battle points. It doesn't take too long, and I pick up Round and Incinerate. Not great, but it's something. Also, I got a second life orb. That'll be useful soon. Before continuing on, I decide to do my due diligence and go back and explore all the surfable areas. I picked up some goodies, but what took me by surprise was visiting the back of Castelia sewers. I love Black and White 2, they're my favourite Pokemon games, but I'd never been here. There's just 3 hooligans hanging out you can battle, in this uniquely designed area. Anyway, with that covered, it's time to continue onwards. Clearing out Chargestone Cave, making it to Mistralton City, and before taking on Skyla, despite having a Magna Brawn, I'm gonna be smart and clear out everything else first, like Celestial Tower, Route 7, and in the process, Okos and actually evolve. Becoming Crocodile, because I guess we're cooking up some BS with the moveset, and Fractually. With all these power-ups and having a hard counter to Skyla, could this be where we win first try? Skyla leads Swoobat, and what is it gonna do to an Elviolite Magna Brawn? Psychic? Pitiful. Spark? Powerful. One more Spark, and Swoobat's down. Swanna next. Okay, Surf, sure, it'll do some damage, but this is Skyla's ace. One-shotted. 2 to go. Sigilif's next, and Psychic. Spark takes it to the yellow, and let's be smart here. Crocodile on the Psychic. Air Cutter then doesn't do much, and Snarl grabs the KO. And last out is Skarmory. We should be in the clear now. Putting that Incinerate TM to use, burning Skarm's Berry. Cook does okay, but Skarm knows X Scissor. And I screw around with Zenless Incinerate spam before sending back in Magna Brawn to land the Spark knockout. Hands down, easiest gym so far, and it was a first try victory. Well done, team. Afterwards, Skyla flies the Professor and I to Lentimus Town, a great town with a very useful move tutor. I can teach Zen Headbutt for Swallosis, and finally it has a stab move, and Earth Power for Cook. Finally it has a move above 55 base power. I would love to get Dark Pulse as well, but I don't have the shards. That's fine, Snarl's not awful, and lowering special attack is useful. Moving on, I accompany Bianca through Reversal Mountain. Plenty of trainers to fight, banking enough XP for Swallosis to evolve into Reuniclus. It sports far better stats, and now has access to several more physical moves. So after exiting the mountain, I return to Driftveil for their move tutor, specifically for Ice Punch, with Gym 7 and Iris on the brain. Soon after, we make it to Undella Town, and it's finally time for another Hugh battle. I completely forgot you fight him here, but despite Hugh having the level advantage, he didn't pose much of a threat, and I take him out fairly quickly. Continuing north to Lucanosa Town, oh my word does Zenless get a glow up. On the previous route we found Psychic, now in Lucanosa Town we bought the Fire Blast TM. This Mon, with these moves, was what immediately came to mind when I considered trying this challenge in this game. Look at those stats. God awful special attack of 46. Attack stat is almost triple that, despite being a negative nature. But that doesn't matter, because we have Sheer, Force, Life Orb, Stab Fire Blast, and also Psychic is there too, I guess. Just so we're all on the same page, Sheer Force and Life Orb combo together in a way that negates Life Orb's downside. So Fire Blast becomes a whopping, like, 203 base power attack, I think, and Psychic is 152 base power. Let's test it on the local Cabalion. Die! Oh, okay. I mean, that's certainly decent damage. Let's finally update Swallosis' name. Reuniclobber. She's ready to lay the beat down on all of you. With our team's power level spiking, we make light work of the random Joe trainers. Even Team Plasma's Violin stands no chance. Mono Ice, bruh, what are you doing? After some more grinding and general progression, we make it to Oppelucid City, where Drayden dwells. Clearing out his gym trainers, it's kinda odd. Like, they're strong and all, actually using held items like a Haban Berry, Dragon Fang, Dragon Gem, and even a Rocky Helmet. It's awesome to see, but feels odd these random trainers get such good held items, while Drayden has 2 measly Citrus Berries. Sorry, but this discrepancy has bugged me for a while now, so hopefully it can bug you too. We'll clear out the gym trainers, do some last minute grinding for our potentially final evolution, fractally into Haxorus. Maybe we'll evolve Magneton, not sure yet, the Eviolite is just so good on it. Drayden may be a bit of a level jump, but I'm feeling confident. He leads Dredagon and I Fracturally. Fracturally is holding on to the metronome, so as long as I keep using the same move over and over, it'll slowly but surely deal more and more damage. And on a Mon that'll be spamming Dragon Pulse, it should work wonders here. Unfortunately though, Rivalry is working against us, and Dragon Pulse doesn't even deal half damage. Thankfully Crunch doesn't deal much to us either. And after 2 more Dragon Pulses, Dredagon goes down. Altaria in second, one last ditch Dragon Pulse, which does pretty good damage, before Fracturally goes down. Unicolor is in, and what a time to know Ice Punch. Cotton Guard from Altaria still isn't enough to save it, 2 down. Flygon next. Crunch takes us down to half, but Ice Punch with the Life Orb one-shots. It's an embarrassing look for you, Flygon. But this battle's not over yet. Drayden's ace, the level 52 Haxorus, comes in. It swiftly takes Unicolor with a Shadow Claw. Crocodile takes over, but I forgot this thing knows Dragon Dance. Dear God. Incinerate burns up the berry, but this could go south fast if Haxorus sets up further. Thankfully they don't, seeing the X is a KO, and okay, no more nonsense. Magna Brawn, Screech. Return deals around half, Spark to the Yellow to avoid a potion, and Haxorus now at +3 Shadow Claws. And it doesn't actually do that much, and 1 return seals the deal. Okay, another first try victory. Not too scary in the end. Magna Brawn proving to be an incredible addition. Now of course, like any good Pokemon story, before we can move onwards to Gym 8, the evil team rears their heads. Straight up blasting at Oppelucid City. Many dead in an instant. It's all a ploy for Simpleton to nab the DNA splicers. We beat them down again, but they still steal the splicers? That's not how it works, I beat you! Whatever. For the time being, we leave them behind and head back to Undella Town. Traverse through Seaside Cave, Route 21, and make it to Himmelau City, where the 8th gym is. Marlin, who specializes in water types. We've been on a winning streak lately. Let's strike while the iron's hot. He leads Wailord, and Viu's back in the mix. Air Slash doesn't deal too much damage, and after a Rain Dance, Wailord locks in with Ice Beam. Maybe we can stall with Roost? Ice Beam shouldn't do much, and that's a freeze. I don't really know when Zenless will have any use, so stuff it. Come on in. Tank the Ice Beam and Psychic for some damage. But yeah, Rain Boosted Scald easily knocks him out. Okay, but we got Magna Brawn, who outspeeds and sparks for the KO. Caracosta next, and I know it has a high defense, but maybe we get lucky and paralyze. Awesome. And fully paralyzed too? You'll love to see it. The pendulum swings back with Scald burning, and after 1 more turn, it's clear we need to switch out. Unicolor, it's your turn. Just please don't get burned. Alright, Drain Punch. It's at -2 defense, easily knocking it out. Jellicent's third, and this Mon concerns me. Viu switches in the vain hope it can fall, but no such luck. Okay, no problem. Probably a good time to switch in Crocodile. When else will it be useful in this fight? They Snarl, and crit, taking Jelly to half. Great start. And with Scald's damage, another Snarl means Cook should be able to live just barely. Oh, never mind, they recovered. Okay, time for Greed. Mud Slap. Let's make this fight hell for them. Scald lands, but no burn at least. Then another Snarl, a Scald dodge, another Snarl, another Scald dodge, another Snarl, and then recover. Okay, I get the message. Cook, you've done amazing, but we need more firepower. Unicolor switches in, Scald, no burn, but crits, yikes. This turns into a bit of a slog. We take Jelly to the red, burn through Marlin's Hyper Potion, take Jelly down to the red again, and unfortunately Shadow Ball lands and knocks us out. Fine then, Cook, you deserve this KO. Lastly, Mantine switches in. It only knows special attacks, making Snarl the perfect choice. It scalds, and we barely hang on. 1 more Snarl, and yeah, Cook goes down. But incredible work for a ground type here, honestly. Magna Brawn switches in, Spark takes Mantine to the red. For the burn, it proves too much and Magna Brawn faints too. However, we have 1 Pokemon left. Haxorly, get in there! Outspeed him, knock him out! All 8 gyms defeated. Ended up a close one, but my word, was that fun. With the gyms taken care of, Team Plasma is next on my hit list. Heading back to Seaside Cave and moving this Crustle-shaped boulder that turns out to be a Crustle? We exit to the east, where we find Team Plasma's dinghy. We enter, we take out all the grunts we see, and make it to the secret password protected room where... Duh, that's Kyrim! And who's this guy again? Wimbledon, right? Bro wants a fight? It's beatdown time. He gets wrecked, but of course, they make a hasty retreat again. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to catch up. Just west of Himalaya City lies the giant chasm. Not much of a cave. We descend to the central grassy open area that's now frozen over thanks to Kyrim. And just like that, it's back into Team Plasma's pontoon. This time, there's even more grunts. And a puzzle section? Well, the puzzle was easy enough. And look, there's even a doctor willing to heal us whenever we want. But of course, just as we approach Kyrim, lo and behold, Thin Bowstring, what am I even doing with that? Tries to stop us again. Admittedly, he gets a little lucky this time round, freezing Magdabrawn twice, but still he's just a pushover, loser, clavel doppelganger. But you know who isn't? Colrez, situated at the ship's helm, and current acting leader of Team Plasma. Though he isn't really loyal to their cause, but rather is seeking ways to best bring out a Pokemon's potential. And if Team Plasma's methods turn out to be the best, then so be it. I'm a big fan of this guy, but I'm an even bigger fan of his theme. The countdown intro, the drum section, and of course this part that just sounds like we've ascended into space, chilling amongst the twinkling stars. Oh, and this battle. I mean, we have an Earth Power Cook against his plethora of steel types, but he does have a BHM. With Energy Ball, okay, you got me, fair play. Hold up a minute, BHM is kinda serving. Or not, never mind. Kling Clang next. Come on, Zenless. Fire Blast. Oof, one shot. And Matang, one shot as well, you little loser. It's so satisfying seeing special attack Darmanitan one-shot things. And upon Coleslaw's defeat, he starts to believe more in the potential of actually being a decent person. Though he'll be sitting on the sidelines to see who truly prevails. We take the final teleporter into the captain's quarters, and it's... Gets this? In his gamer setup. And look at those monitors, I'm jealous. That blasted Colress. This is how he repays me for making him the boss of Team Plasma. Gets' plan is to freeze over all of Unova and make the terrified people in Pokemon will bow at Team Plasma's. No, my feet. As Gets scurries off, before we can take chase, we fight the Shadow Triad. Thankfully, it's nothing too serious. We march forward into the back of the giant chasm where Gets dwells with Kyrim. And as the man is about to murder us, N in the nick of time Aura farms with the save. Well, remember the DNA splicers? Yeah, thanks N. Now we got Kyrim White to deal with. I mean, honestly, it goes down easy peasy, but the real fight is against Getsus. He leads Cough Egregious to our Reuniclobber. Pretty poor lead actually, and I should have thought about this better. But I know this Mon's a toxic staller, so Magdabrawn sounds like a smart switch. Thanks to the tried and true Screech Spark combo, after several turns we score the knockout. Seismitoad next, Vayu's turn. Getting Train Punched upon switching. Air Slash, Flinch. Air Slash, Dodge. Air Slash, Dodge. Air Slash, KO. You know what? You deserve Rotten RNG Getsus for being our rotten man. Electros next. And this matchup looks a bit awkward, so I go Magdabrawn to sack, who tanks a hit and hits the Screech before fainting. Our only other physical attacker switches in, tanks a crunch decently, and then Headbutt at -2 defense, and a crit easily KOs. Drapion next, and I go Cook on Night Slash. Earth Power takes Drapion low, and X-Scissor isn't too scary. One more Earth Power secures the knockout. Cook wants to learn Earthquake? No chance. Why would I ever want to learn that move? Toxicroak next, and honestly, just Earth Power. It deals good damage, but Brick Break does knock us out. Zenless turn, tanking a Sucker Punch, and Psychics for the feint. But now it's time for the big bad Hydreigon. Zenless can't do much here. Fire Blast, sure, for a bit of chip, before being annihilated by Dragon Rush. We have 3 Pokemon left, but matchup wise, they aren't ideal. Unless, actually outspeed? Nice, but with Rivalry working against us, it easily lives. And there's Dragon Pulse. It misses? Okay, GG, well played. Deserved, by the way. Gets us down. If I didn't get blessed that fight, maybe we could have lost. Oh well. With the baddies beaten, there's nothing in our way, and we can make it towards Victory Road. Which, by the way, is so long in this game. In fact, for the first time this run, I actually started skipping trainers to avoid overleveling. Now, I gotta be honest, right before making it to the Elite Four, you fight Hugh one more time, but I may have forgotten to record the battle. I'm sorry, noob YouTuber alert. But this video is long enough, so let's just get the Elite Four rolling, okay? With everyone roughly at level 58, I now had to decide who to fight first. Ghost, Psychic, Dark, or Fighting. After a little contemplation, I settled on Shoutout. We have Crocodile, we have Magda to resist, and we even have rivalry working in our favour with her female team. Hopefully, this isn't a mistake. And for these final battles, I decided against looking up their teams. I have some base level knowledge of course, but wanted to add some ambiguity and uncertainty to add to the thrill. Shoutout leads Cough Egregious and us Hacksually, testing the waters with a cursory Dragon Pulse. Not quite half. And Will-O-Wisp misses? Hacksually's holding the metronome here, with a plan to spam Dragon Pulse. Let's see how far we can go. Another Dragon Pulse, and Will-O-Wisp misses? Okay, this luck is a bit undeserved. I'm feeling bad now. Well, one more Dragon Pulse and that's a clean KO. Golurk next, with Metronome 3. Dragon Pulse does just under half. Earthquake brings us to the yellow. Another Dragon Pulse. It'll be a damage range. Let's go. Now we're at Metronome 5, essentially a choice specs boost. Driftblim third, and just look at the Dragon Pulse damage. Comboing with the rivalry boost, it's pretty impressive. But there's Shadow Ball. Just barely we survive, and another Dragon Pulse scores the KO. Banette's turn. Dragon Pulse, so close. Still, amazing work actually. Cook switches in and easily takes out Banette. And now it's just Chantal's ace, Chandelier, who does win the 1v1, but not before a Snarl reduces their threat level. Uniclobber takes over, and it's close, but super effective Rock Slide lands the knockout. Chantal down, brilliant start. It's vindicating seeing rivalry be so helpful. And because of that, I'd say it makes sense to challenge Caitlyn next. We lead Cook versus Masharna. Starting off with Snarl, and Hypnosis misses. Snarl again, and Hypnosis hit. Okay, fair enough, but let's stay in. Caitlyn switches to Reuniclus. Oh, Masharna only knows psychic attacks? Good to know. Let's be smart and switch. I can't pass up the mirror match. Memories flash of my previous psychic mirror match with Alakabam versus Lucian. This time though, it ain't so simple. Caitlyn's Reuniclus easily outdamages, especially with its leftovers. A crit Rock Slide gives us a glimmer of hope. We even survive on 1 HP, but it's all for naught. Next turn, Rock Slide misses and there's Psychic. Still, good effort. I'm not sure who can actually score the knockout on this bulky Psychic type. Well, there is one option, Vayu. Using its newly taught Hyper Beam, it's risky, but Reuniclus is too versatile and too bulky to allow to heal. Sigilyph switches next, and punishes. Ice Beam. Vayu barely hangs on, and now recharged, actually dips out of there. Magda can easily tank, just please no freeze. Thank you. Psychic doesn't do much, and Spark is just enough to two-shot, even getting the para. Oh, but Caitlyn has Metagross, I completely forgot. Does it have Earthquake? After some deliberation, Vayu switches in, but it's not met with Earthquake, instead Hammer Arm. Okay, that's good intel at least. Zenless is a far safer option now. And how much will Fire Blast do? To the red, good stuff. Zen Headbutt even misses. Now a safe flamethrower knocks him out. Masharna back in, put Zenless to sleep. Now come on, let's be smart. Cook, come on back in. And this time, Caitlyn doesn't switch out, opting to spam Reflect. Cool. Cook wakes up, lands the knockout, and now it's just Gothitelle left. And with Snarl spam, it takes a few turns, but that's GG. Caitlyn down. Not too tough either, but from here on, I'm a bit nervous. For our third Elite Four member, I opt for Grimsley next, but we lack any fighting or bug moves. Also, rivalry should be working against us. Still, let's try. He leads Liepard against Zenless. Liepard is so frail, I bet even a flamethrower will two-shot. It's close, but seems I was correct. Zenless is brought low, but Liepard ain't got it in them, damage-wise, compared to a special Darmanitan. Crook next. Honestly, just get the damage on the board. Fire Blast takes him to half, and there's Rock Tomb. Yeah, that'll do it. But you know what? This Crook is female. Okay, Haxorus Surf sounds pretty tempting here. And it gets the knockout. Scrafty comes in, and wait a minute, I think his whole team is female. The rivalry value, folks. Actually stays in, spamming Dragon Pulse. And I'm expecting to faint here, but for some reason Grimsley's just spamming Rock Tomb. On their dying breath, they crunch, still narrowly missing the KO. Dragon Pulse spam for the win. We had no right winning this 1v1. Absol's in next, and sure, let's save Haxorly. Magda switches in on the X-Scissor, and then Absol Swords Dances. And Swords Dances again. Pretty scary, but our lucky streak continues with Spark bringing to the yellow and paralyzing, letting us outspeed and score the knockout without receiving any significant damage. Now Grimsley is down to his ace, Bisharp. Magda has got this. And look at that. Spark crit para. This doesn't feel fair at this point. So let me throw real quick. Screech to activate Defiant. And oh look, it's holding Quick Claw. And that's a crit. There's a world in which we lose now. Reuniclobber, please just no Quick Claw. Phew. Drain Punch for the knockout. Grimsley down. That's 3 out of 4 Elite Four members defeated. but Marshall I'm most concerned for. Unlike Grimsley, his Pokemon will actually be male. We have a Dark type, and Magneton, the amazing defensive cornerstone of our team, matches up poorly here. But I'm a gamer, I won't throw. Marshall will, leading throw against Zenless. And immediately I throw. Fire Blast, which misses when Psychic would have been just as powerful. They Bulldoze, which doesn't do too much, and a follow-up Psychic does just under half. Rock Tomb takes us low. Thankfully, we still outspeed at -2, getting a last-ditch Psychic off before succumbing to a Rock Tomb. Thanks to my misplay, this is the first Elite Four battle, where the first Pokemon to faint is ours. That's fine, we'll be fine. Vayu switches in, holding the Metronome, and Air Slashes for the knockout. Conkeldurr next, Air Slash deals 2/3, and Hammer Arm about the same. Air Slash for the knockout, and that's Metronome 3. Sulk third, another Air Slash. Takes to the red, no flinch unfortunately, and Rock Slide. Good work Vayu, let's hope it's enough. Reuniklobber in on the full restore, and Zen Headbutt misses. I can't be mad, we've been too blessed up till now. It's actually pretty close thanks to Payback, but thankfully Reuniklobber comes out on top. Lucario fourth, immediately knocking us out with Shadow Ball. Okay, well, I suppose if there was ever a time for Cook, it'd be now. Outspeeds with Earth Power, takes it to the red, but an Aura Sphere, we don't live. Haxley switches in, outspeeds and nabs the knockout. And now it's just Marshall's ace, me and Shao. Haxley takes it to the yellow before fainting, and all that's left is Magna Brawn. High jump kick takes us down to Sturdy, and the genius that I am switched out the Eviolite for an Electric Gem. On our last Pokemon, with its last hit point, we nab the win. A clean sweep of the Elite Four, you love to see it. But there's still Iris. No mucking about. I use every rare candy I have, which is only 7, but still, I appreciate the boost. I enter the champion's room. She's gone from Dragon Gym Leader to Champion. The cooler Dragon Champion, by the way. I'm scared, but things have gone well so far. Let's see what we can do. She leads Hydreigon to our Vayu. I take my time, consider my options. Thankfully, we just learned Tailwind, and I doubt we outspeed. There's Dragon Pulse, I was right. Takes Vayu low, but we do get the Tailwind off. Okay, this is a scary lead. I think we Hyper Beam, chunk it down quickly. It doesn't even deal half, and Vayu's knocked out, but actually is primed for the knockout. Rivalry working in our favour. Tailwind up, Dragon Pulse does enough. Druddigon second, and I could Dragon Pulse, but I'm predicting Outrage here. So let's try Magna Brawn. And I was right, but damn, that does more than I would have liked. I start with a Screech, concerned on the potential Rough Skin. And there's another Outrage, dealing only 48 HP. So we should live one more. Return takes Druddigon low, and there's the third Outrage. High damage roll, knocking us out. Fine, Haxley in on the full restore. Doesn't matter as Druddigon is 2-shot easily anyway. Lapras third, and this matchup is horrible. Who do I even go to? Zenless, for some reason? Great, amazing play by me. Okay, Reuniklobber Drain Punch spam? Hydro Pump miss? And Drain Punch does roughly a quarter, not bad. Blizzard lands, and that's not too much damage. With Drain Punch and leftovers, Reuniklobber comes out on top, but with less than ideal remaining HP. Haxor is fourth, and Xizor. Yeah, we're not living that. Okay, maybe Haxley can one-shot it? Oh, come on, Focus Sash, really? And Haxley goes down. Cook next, but we're gonna lose. There's Outrage. 1 HP? Disrespectful Incinerate KO? Aggron's fifth, and I was in VC, my friend being the devil on my shoulder saying, I bet it has Sturdy.
Doesn't Aggron carry Sturdy?
So I Mud Slap. And Double Edge knocks us out. It took no recoil, so we know it's Rockhead, not Sturdy. Thanks, mate. Okay, that's a loss, but well, if I Earth Powered, we'd have beaten 5 out of 6 team members. That's not bad. This is doable. And we've learned some things. We can play better next time. Next time, I lead Reuniklobber, making a hard read this Hydreigon doesn't have a Dark move, which it doesn't, though Dragon Pulse is still dealing good damage. We trade blows, even surviving on 1 HP. What is it with this battle on 1 HP? And eventually, we score the KO. We've saved Vayu at the cost of Reuniklobber. Haxorus in second. It's gonna Xizor, so I go Zenless? Okay, FML, never mind. Vayu, please do something. Outrage, we barely live. Okay, cool, that's a Tailwind. And Air Slash misses. Magna Brawn, please. Spark, Para, thank you. Now, Haxley as it goes for Earthquake, and Dragon Pulse at least nabs the KO. F it, Dragon Pulse. Not quite a KO, but it's locked in at least. Magna Brawn takes Dreddy down, and baits an Aggron. Switch to Cook on the EQ, and knowing it's Rockhead, Earth Power for the one-shot. Now, as Lapras switches in, it doesn't look good, but maybe Snarl into a lucky dodge? We don't dodge, but we live? One more Snarl then, and even a crit, nice. Magna Brawn switches in, 2 Sparks is all it takes, and Iris only has 1 Pokemon left. Archeops. It's Stone Edges, no Earthquake, but a crit. Spark puts it into defeatist, but it's not enough to prevent the next turn knockout. Only Reuniklobber left, and I don't think it can tank a hit. Especially with a crit. Yeah, no chance. Well, if it never crit Magneton, we would have won. I'm sure we just need one more try. I'm sure we'll win this. Still leading Reuniklobber here. If we just KO Hydreigon with more HP remaining, we should be primed for the win. And a well-timed crit does exactly that. Haxorus switches in, and we have 145 HP remaining. Now it could act Scissor. Let's get lucky and go Zenless. Nope. Rip. At least it's locked in. Now Magnabron Spark. All we need is a little chip. No paralysis unfortunately, and as Haxorus calms down, we switch into Haxorus again. Earthquake dealing around half, with Dragon Pulse securing the KO. Dredagon again, and yeah, just Dragon Pulse. No crit, Haxorus knocked out. Very similar to last time, Magnabron for the KO, and Beta Aggron. We switch to Cook, one shot to Earth Power. Here's the Lapras, we get a Snarl off, but don't survive a hit this time. That's okay, Reuniklobber has way more HP and has 1v1 Lapras before. It's an arduous back and forth, constant healing, Lapras singing. 4 restores used, but miraculously Reuniklobber scores the knockout with more health than they started with. And now, all that's standing between us and becoming champion is that freaking bird that I hate. Maybe Reuniklobber can tank a hit? There's Stone Edge. It misses. Ice Punch? Is that defeatist range? Stone Edge? Okay, yeah, that's defeatist. Another Ice Punch. It's on like 1 HP. Tank the Stone Edge and Ice Punch for the knockout. Oh, we've done it. We're gaming. Both times I've won this challenge, it's via an Ice Punching special attacking Psychic type. Let's go. This was such a fun run. I'm really happy with every team member. Each of them put in good work. I'm struggling to pick a favourite, though I'm partial to Sheer Force Life Orb Darmanitan, showing that despite having an awful special attack stat, it could still put in some decent damage. And Rivalry actually was pretty fun as well. It was so funny seeing these decisively physical attackers use special attacks. Who was your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a good day. See ya.